Welcome back. Happy New Year. Compliments of the season, whatever you want to call it, from whatever part of the world that you are. Yeah, welcome back. And we are extremely glad to have you back with us. I'm extremely glad to have Jason and Riyaz back with me. How you guys doing? Was the break good? Was everything in order for you guys?
Yeah, it was all good, man. Happy to be back. It felt so strange not having to record, but also I think it was a welcome downtime for us. Yeah, managed to do a bit of traveling, but we can touch on that a bit more a bit later. I did somehow I took a taxi and I ended up in the UK. So yeah, we can definitely touch on that a bit later.
What taxi service are you using? Can you couple the number, please?
Look, it is a bit of a pricey one. It's more expensive
Yeah.
than Athlone to Mowbray taxi, but
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
can definitely hook you up though.
Yeah, Riyaz, how's things been for you? Good break?
Uh, break? What break? It felt like it went so fast. We're back again. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was much needed, and yeah, happy to be back though. Back into the swing of things. I guess with a double game week, with a game week spaced over 2 weeks, it's kind of slower than we usually are used to. But yeah, excited to be back at least.
Yeah, man. Like, let's just touch on that quickly. Like, it's weird to have a game week stretched out so long.
Yeah.
Um, it's I don't know how this came about. I think it's because of the FA Cup replays and like the League Cup games and stuff like that. But it is a bit weird. I'm checking out my FPL, looking when my Brighton player is gonna get me points and
Mhm.
checking when all these guys are going to come into play for me. But yeah, then I have to wait for another week or so. And I saw so many people were bringing in KDB already in the
Yeah.
FPL. But I mean, the next game week only starts on the 30th of
Yeah.
January,
Yeah.
which is crazy. I mean, there's FA Cup games before that, but it's crazy that the next Premier League game is only in another 2 weeks' time or so. Um, but yeah, Jason.
No, I was just gonna say it is crazy because I think before the turn of the year we had a game week almost every 3 days, and now suddenly to have this long period of time, and I think a lot of people that play fantasy Premier League was, I think you almost relieved, but now that it's such a long break, you're actually like, okay, I actually need that sort of adrenaline, that sort of hype to make your team, take the impulsive -4, -8, -12, which I think that festive period fixtures brought about, so many injuries, so many flags and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, just like Riyaz says, it's been quiet. I mean, if you just alluded to it, it's quiet, but there's a whole lot of other stuff that's going on. So maybe
Yeah.
not, yeah, maybe not the most exciting stuff, but yeah, there's still football. We're still wringing these players out to dry with the number of games that they have to play. So
Yeah.
suppose as a spectator, we are getting
At,
Yeah,
some
at
and,
sort
least
and
of.
at
we'll
least
touch
you
on
guys
that.
watch. Yeah, we
Sorry,
Yeah,
Riaz.
will. But at least you guys were able to change your teams because even after the melee that was the end of last year, on Thursday I was like, okay, there's a game on Friday. I need to change my team on Friday. I'll do it tomorrow. It's okay. Friday
yeah,
morning came. I was like, it's okay. I'll do it this evening. This afternoon, whatever, just before the game week. Can delay it. And then Friday night came and the game was on, and I was like, oh, I forgot to change my team. And now I have to wait 3 weeks to redeem myself after not changing my team this game. And
If you remember, do it in that moment, dude.
yeah,
yeah. Also,
You
that
know
sounds like
something.
self
You
sabotage,
know
man. It
something's
sounds like
to
an
come up.
excuse.
Yeah.
Sounds like an excuse before the
No,
fact.
no. Like uh, when I was picking my team for last week, I took Mo Salah out because I mean the dude's on Afcon duty at the moment. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm bringing a City player in. Phil Foden's been in crazy form. So I'm like,
yeah,
okay, Phil Foden, and then I was like, nah, man, KDB's coming back. Kevin de Bruyne, like, must I just
yeah,
like spend that money on him? Like, I have enough
yeah,
now. Must I just do it? I'm like, nah, Pep is gonna bring this guy on for like 15 minutes or so, and it's not gonna be worth it, man. I'm gonna be lamming there with a 1 pointer at the end, whereas like Phil Foden will probably do something. This
yeah.
brew come off the bench, a madness of note.
Turn up.
Go
It's in style.
That
No,
assist, Oscar Bob's winner at the end,
yeah,
insane. But yeah, like let's just touch on a bit about like the brilliance that is KDB, man. I mean, his last match day was game day one of the Premier League back in
yeah,
August. He was injured after that. Dude hasn't
yeah,
played. He played in the League Cup last week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. That was his first match back. But
yeah.
yeah, this talent class, whatever you want to call it, the guy is insane. What a genius.
Nah, it's so scary to see it because, and I think that if you watch the game, you'd have seen there were certain times where after he was running a bit, he's like hunched over, but it's out of breath naturally because he's obviously fit enough to play a few minutes, but not up to the match level that you'd want him to be. He's also getting older and things like that. But I think in that little cameo, he showed exactly why Man City was still feared even when they were sitting at third or fourth, because it was still that once KDB gets back, then you'll see. And suddenly they were flowing, and then you're still going to throw in Haaland as well once he comes back from his injury. And then it's like, okay, so now actually, in their time where they had two of their best players out, they managed to stay the course, managed to stay within touching distance. And then as soon as the two guys come back who have this amazing partnership, it's just going to be normal again. So, yeah, it was crazy to watch. It was crazy to see. I think we have to maybe do a little something on like Newcastle and how suddenly when I checked the log after the game, I saw that they were 10th and I was like, I thought they were in and around somewhere there, but I didn't expect 10th to be honest. Like they've quietly just been doing poorly. And I don't think we talk
Yeah.
about it enough.
Since
Um,
since United's game, I think it's been like nine draws and losses combined, which is
yeah, I think
crazy.
their one win was against, who was it, Sunderland, the FA Cup. I
Yeah.
think it could have been that one that was in that mix there. But it's I think City kicked into some different sort of gear in the second half because obviously Newcastle started well, did very well with those two goals, and then City kicked into that old City, and it was just like moving it around and playing with confidence. I mean, if you have Rodri doing step overs just outside the box, then you must know this is like okay, this is something crazy. Riyaz,
You
what
have
should we call the game, bro? What did you think about KDB, the return?
I mean, he's the best midfielder in the world, is he not? I mean, well, eight, I would say, maybe not six, but the magic, not even just on the ball, even off the ball, like the pockets of spaces that he finds himself in, like for the first goal, like he's close, and then he's closed by the defender or the midfielders, and he changes his position, but still between the lines, and he finds a different pocket of space, and he just picks it up, and Roddy plays him through, and he's in on goal. I mean,
Yeah,
it's intelligence on another level, and on the ball as well. Obviously, for the second goal, his vision, his weight of pass, everything that he's able to do is just spectacular. And now his style also is just ridiculous. I don't know how that hair doesn't come into his face; it just keeps as he's running. It doesn't make any sense, but okay. And I mean, him and Ireland haven't played together. I think they played less than a full game together or something like that this whole season so far. And last season they were ridiculous together. Like the
yeah,
combination, that's why they won the treble. I mean, let's get serious. So when Ireland gets back and Kevin is now back, I think City are 2 points behind Liverpool now at the top.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they play each other in a couple of weeks' time, which is going to be probably, I don't know, I don't want to say title decider, but it's going to be a good game. And I mean, Kevin de Bruyne, I'm just glad to see him back and be able to watch him again, because just to be
yeah,
able to watch him is a privilege, to be honest. It's really amazing to see, no matter what team he plays for. I'm supposed to be controversial, not good to, or not nice to people. But in any case, it's amazing to see, and I'm glad that he's back. And City are probably going to go on from strength to strength now, to be honest.
Yeah,
yeah,
man. I
for sure.
mean, just to go back on that one, if teams and if people are good, then you have no choice but to praise them, right?
Yeah,
Like it's pointless to say that oh no, you don't like this guy or you don't like that guy, and but they're actually really good. I think I did that to Mo Salah at one point.
I
Like I
still
really
do it.
didn't like the guy, but I mean he's really good. So even though I don't like him, like all the Liverpool fans like him, but you have to like praise his talent. You have to praise his genius, and at the end of the day, that's what counts. Um, but this past weekend, there was a fixture between Manchester United and Spurs, ended in a 2-2. Let me just come out and say that I invited Riyaz to come watch it by me, but he didn't want to because it was a Spurs game. I think he was a bit scared that Spurs was gonna lose and catapult, and then he has to be in the presence of a United fan.
I'm
Um,
not even going to deny that. I'm not even going to deny that.
like yeah, Jason and I were getting ready for it, and I was piping more because of the form that
Literally,
Spurs are in. But I mean,
yeah.
for some reason, Riaz didn't want to chance it, which is a bit weird.
I was ready
But
to leave a 21st. I didn't even boil the cake for tea, and I was ready to leave. And then I just saw the text. Nah, he hasn't coming. He's afraid. I said, okay, fair.
That's fair.
uh,
That's fair. I feel like if it
Yeah.
was a game between Arsenal and United, I would have left the 21st and then come watch it. But just because it was Spurs, I felt,
now you check
Yeah.
that. No, he's like one of those guys. You know, when friends fight at school, no, then you have that one brother that's like lying on the outside, just like yeah, hit
Yeah.
him, hit him. He's like that, bruh.
That's definitely me. I'm not even gonna deny that either. That's me to the T. I'm not even.
Yo,
That's
I
a
doesn't
perfect
want to put his gloves on and fight. I don't
yo.
believe it.
Okay,
I
but
don't
like
believe it.
let's just get back to the game quick. Yeah, seeing that you weren't here, I'd like to have your thoughts on the game, and then Jason from a neutral perspective as well, what you thought about um how both teams played and where both teams lacked, etc.
Yeah, I think it was a good game for us anyway. Disappointed not to win the game, and I was happy with the point. I think well before the game, let's say before the game, I would have been happy with the point. We to go there to Old Trafford and to have 65% position or whatever the thing was to limit United to the 2 goals only as shots on target. To play the way that we did, even though we do look a bit dodgy at the back a lot of the time still, which I guess will only improve next year maybe. It's too soon to tell, but uh, I think generally the Spurs played well. Spurs played really well. I was really happy for Hoyland to be honest because his goal was taken really well. Like there was no issue for the keeper there. Like top
Yeah.
roof of the net, buried it very well taken. And Rashford's goal. You see what happens when you pass the ball, Marcus. You see what happens when you pass the ball. You get a 1-2 and you score in the bottom corner. I mean,
Yeah.
it's simple, really. But yeah, I mean, United were suspect on corners. They all season already. It doesn't seem like the keeper wants to come for anything. So we took advantage there. And yeah, I think we played well in position. I think Garnacho is still in the pocket there somewhere of the youngster. And the only issue, I guess, was the other side where Rashford was allowed too much space because Pardo is a new Trent Alexander-Arnold, I guess, because he's so far forward all the time. But yeah, so he gets exposed there quite a bit. But to have Romero and Mickey back is great to note. Like that, I think, is the biggest takeaway from the game. Even with everybody out, Son, Kulusevski, Madders, even though those three are still out, to have the back four now back in the team settled. Hopefully, nobody gets injured again. We can
Yeah.
only go strength to strength, and hopefully, we will be able to keep more clean sheets. Because I don't think going forward is the problem. I think keeping the clean sheets is going to be the problem with that high line and things like that. So yeah, and the other one, to have Bentancur back as well. He just passed that midfield. I mean, to have a midfield of Bentancur, Skip, and who was the other one even? Webby
Hoiberg.
had a shocking game personally. Like everybody's saying that he had a decent game. I think he had a shocking game. To have a midfielder like that against Eriksen, Bruno, and Kobe Mainu, I think you guys should have done it way better. I think United should have played way better because I mean it's basically Rodrigo against the three of them by himself. So and Timo's debut. Oh gosh. Yo, the win, and so on that first shot there, when he got the ball and he was driving forward into the box, just on the outskirts. I was shouting, "Shoot, shoot!" And I knew that I was either looking left, right, or up. I wasn't even looking at the goal. I was shouting, "Shoot!" but I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere close to the goal.
Yeah.
And the ball went over the stadium, and I was just like, "Okay, it's fine, Timo. As long as you're trying your best, it's fine." He looks like he's good. He's going to be great for us without the ball. With the ball, maybe not, but he can be a super sub when he needs to be.
That's
But yeah,
something that Ange is definitely going to work on, though. I mean,
Yeah.
so far he's improved so many players.
true.
So I think that's definitely right at the top of his list, most likely.
Yeah.
That is true. So hopefully he can improve him as well. It's a loan deal for now. So, and we have like people like Sessignon. I guess you can put him in there. Manu Solomon as well, who must come back, and of course Sonny, who is injured, and we have Brian Keel as well, who shame poor lad. He has good energy, but doesn't look
Yeah.
like he's really.
When given the chance.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's really fit for the Prem. But yeah, it was a good game. I would have liked to have come away with the win, but I guess to go to Old Trafford and get a draw is not too bad, especially for the first season with Ange
Yeah,
and with
Jason?
all the players missing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to jump onto that there, I think with a team that you're able to field, going to Old Trafford where there's been a bit of a bump in like form, a little bit of optimism. I think it could have gone either way. If my team was playing, I would have still come though, because it would have made great content. But you obviously don't like us very much.
I make the content with the other teams. My nerves won't. I can't handle that stuff.
Exactly. People want to see you. They want to see you.
We want to see you being raucous, bruh.
Yeah.
Not
We
much
want
to
the
see
real
there.
you.
I think there were quite a few takeaways for me. Just, I mean, watching it as a neutral is obviously nice when you have nothing really resting on it in such a big game. So I think the Spurs goals, they came from the errors that have plagued Man United the whole season. So like Riyaz says, set pieces, Man United's not very good at that. And I think I can't even count on my hand how many times there's been a square pass that's been made on the edge of Man United's box, and there's been no midfielder
No
to do
track.
anything to try and cut it back or even cut it out. Rather, I can think of Odegaard alone, and then you got Bentancur just waltzing through. I think of Nottingham Forest. I think of I
Not
can probably, if
Newcastle.
we do it, Newcastle. If you actually look back, it would actually be crazy to see how often that holding midfielder isn't there to actually provide cover.
Yeah.
I think for United, I think those goals, like you said, Rashford, if you pass the ball, get it back, he scores. We have to also look at part of what he was doing there, because I don't know where that he was running already to go take a free kick up the field. He just turned his back and he ran, and then Rashford just ran on the inside. Like, I think the rule that you have is you always defend your goal, and this one I was like running to go take a throw in, or maybe he was trying to open up already. He thought Vicario had the ball, but really good finish. Also, Rashford to not try and blast it. I think Hoyland must be the one that must just shoot now. Rashford's two best goals, and I think his only two goals recently, was the side-footed finish against Nottingham Forest and the side-footed finish now against Spurs, and
Yeah.
it worked perfectly fine for him. Like, there's no need to kick that the piece of the ball comes apart and people can see that you have a lot of power. It's really not necessary. But yeah, I think there's still a bit of work that needs to be done. This little uptake in form for like United, I think it will still be exposed a bit more, because there's still glaring issues that need to be fixed. And then for Spurs, I think it can only get a bit better. And it pains me to say that, but I mean, once they get the players back, I mean, Son's gone, Kulusevski's out. Your two midfielders are both at AFCON. Romero's probably going to get suspended next game week. That's like a given, every second week he obviously has a little go at somebody. So I think it does pain me. I don't think it's going to be like the way you started the season. I think there's been a few too many disruptions in the season now, so it will come good, but there'll be a lot of shakiness. but yeah, I think give Ange one more season, maybe he starts to implement more, maybe he gets more players that suit the system. Maybe Hoiberg finally goes on loan to MLS. Maybe even gets sold to MLS, follows Lloris, and yeah, I just felt like it was almost a basketball game, and it was so open. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was
At
crying out for
least,
somebody to take advantage of that chaos, and I don't think either team knew what they wanted to do with it.
yeah, at least Riyaz's guy, Mickey van der Ven, he made his return. So
For
I
how
don't
long
know
though?
why.
Because he'll put it in his hamstring again.
Yeah. So when I saw Van der Ven, I was like, yo, it's weird that Riyaz didn't want to come watch with us because I mean, he had his best central defensive pairing. So why was he why was he scared? Why was he afraid?
It's difficult to defend with two people, man. You know, when your fullbacks are the furthest people forward, then it's difficult. And when you're
Um,
playing way behind next to the central defenders, it's
yeah.
suspect.
Just to touch on the whole Rashford thing. The dude scored a goal after passing,
I was
right?
gonna ask you about this. Yeah, carry on.
Immediately after that, he starts running into three players again. He tries to do everything on his own. There was one point in that second half. He I think it was Romero and Pardo that were in front of him, and it was a sort of a 2-on-1 scenario. And then on the other side, you had Garnacho running in open space. Like the guy was completely free. All Rashford just had to do was look up, lay the ball off for him, and the dude would have slotted it home. Rashford tried to run into the two of them. Instead, he never lifted his head up once to look who was available. The dude just wanted to go full steam ahead into the two defenders, and then he lost the ball. I mean, like, surely there has to be somebody in training, one of the coaches that have to be telling him, dude, like, you have to think a bit better. Like, what is
Brendan
happening?
McCarthy
Like, what
saying,
is
"Do it
happening?
again, do it again."
No, man, but like, it's frustrating and it's annoying and it's concerning because I think he's the highest paid player at the club now. Um,
Yeah,
so for our uh, how can I put it, talisman, if I can
yeah.
actually call him that, uh, to be doing things like that, to have low football IQ, it's not that great. And if we're trying to build a team around him, that's even worse. So um, I hope things change, but it's frustrating and it's annoying as a United fan.
How did you feel about the celebration?
Um, no, like for me, I think he should have just gone back to his normal thingy.
Mm.
Um, I
Because
don't
like
I don't
to
know
do that
why
to the
that changed. I
fans.
don't know.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Oh! So he did that because so before he scored, there was a period where he wasn't following Paro all the time because how can you? I mean, the man is basically a forward. So the every time like so basically he was getting stick from the fans, right? The fans were booing him because he wasn't tracking the runner, and then he scored and he did this to the fans to basically keep them quiet.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just a bit too over the top for me. I mean, you
Yeah.
score one goal in like 65 games, just calm yourself
Yeah.
down.
Nah, but I think it is also recent. I mean, everybody. I think any professional footballer can do that because everybody's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
So that could fit. That's a one size fits all celebration for the whole of the Prem. But I think
True.
recently
Yeah.
people have been questioning loyalty and that stuff like that, and I think that was just his. But yeah, like you said, it is bold. But if he plays bad, people have something to say. Then he scores, and people have something to say. So it's like it's just it's a never ending cycle. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
but
My whole issue with him is just his consistency. Like if he
Yeah.
can perform and produce on like a weekly level, he doesn't even have to score goals every week.
Yeah.
If he's like coming up racking assists, if he's just like contributing properly to the team, like I said, where
yeah,
he looks up and he finds players instead, become the
yeah,
assistant to the assist, um, the person making the assist. Like
yeah,
that's good enough. Like, but
yeah.
don't do things where you know that you're going to end up losing possession of the ball and then United are on the back foot again. But
Look how good Holland is at finishing. We're hardly able to see
yeah,
it because the supply line is so not there. Just
Yeah.
get the ball to the striker. I mean, he's so good. Just get the ball to his feet. Let him do his work. It's ridiculous, actually.
And I mean, it's actually funny you mentioned that, right? Because the ball fell to his feet because Rashford had to dribble inside
Yeah.
past his legs. And it knocked the
And he
Spurs
got
defender.
tackled. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I 100% echo what you're saying, Ev. It's like, it's not even, okay, obviously, as a striker and a frontline player, you're judged by those stats. But if you can play a pivotal role in maybe taking maybe taking a runner away, maybe tracking back. I think fans see that. It's that energy. I think we had spoken about it a while back, and I don't think I was very defensive of it, but I sort of understood that it's not always as easy as just running back when you've just made a 60-meter sprint forward. But I think that's what he literally needs to get back to now. It's if it's not working for you in what you're supposed to be good at, right, then you just try and do the basics well. Make sure that you complete your passes. Make sure that your crosses are in decent areas if it's not going to be completed. Make sure that when it comes to 1v1s, you're winning like at least 6 out of 7 or 6 out of 8 of them, like that, right? Something like that. It shows a positive influence, and it shows fans, okay, look here, there's this that we can still hold on to. But right now, it's like, okay, he's got one moment in the 25th minute, and then for the next 75, maybe 65 minutes, he does a flick here. Then he tries a crossfield pass. It's like people remember that more than the little stuff.
Yeah, but let's just move on, and I'm not going to move on much. We're just going to touch on Jason's descent into becoming a United fan over the festive period.
Yeah. Look, I accept all donations, any size, because I think the reason Man United beat Villa on Boxing Day was because I was there. Look, we left on the 22nd, right? So we leave Cape Town, we land in the UK on the 23rd. Arsenal's playing against Liverpool. Game ends 1-1, right? Man United, I think they just lost against West Ham, and we have tickets now for this this Man United Villa game, and we thinking to ourselves, yo, we now flew all this away, and this team is not going to win and not going to do anything. Bam! Probably the best game of the season that you could have seen, sitting in the stadium there. And I mean, I'm not a Man United fan. AF is lying, people. But I am a football fan, right? So being at Old Trafford, it's iconic, right? So being in the stadium, being there, getting to see two Premier League teams, which I've mentioned this to a few people now, but for South Africans, we don't watch a lot of local football. I feel like it's not as big as our viewership for like Premier League and even like Serie A and like La Liga and stuff like that. So being in that space is like, it was perfect. You could have taken me to Luton versus Burnley, or you could have taken me to Crystal Palace versus Sheffield, and I'd have been happy either way. Maybe they would also start winning if I was at the stadium, but yeah, it was just probably one of the best games to watch live, to see. We sat at the end where we saw all of the goals. So we saw the 2 Villa goals in the first half, and then we saw the 4 goals that United. So obviously one was ruled off for like offside and stuff, but we saw all of it there. And just to see the stadium grow as the first one went in, then the equalizer, then the winner, and obviously it was Hoyland's one as well. Yeah, proper experience. I think Man United, then you guys went on to winning the FA Cup, which is also because I was there in the UK, but subsequently Arsenal have been on the worst run of form. So yeah, I sort of made a sacrifice, but I think I sent the payment to the wrong guys because the results aren't working out now.
Let's just talk about that dip for Arsenal. We don't have to go into detail about it. Like we're already half an hour in. But yeah, just like from your high level points on what you think might have gone wrong. Do you think it's more of the same that happened last season, where they got to a point and they started doubting themselves and stuff like that? Like, what's actually happening over at the Emirates?
I think it might be twofold. This is just my understanding of the situation. So teams obviously set up, and I think it's something that City and Liverpool had to deal with quite a bit. teams set up to not come and play. They set up to sit. They set up to wait for our errors. And I think we've reached the point now where we're getting a bit too predictable in that front third. I think in the last few games, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was Brighton, then it was Liverpool the draw, then it was West Ham, Liverpool at home again for FA Cup, and then Fulham as well. Or I think it was Fulham and then FA Cup. We create so many chances, but there's just that lack of a clear striker. It's a bit upsetting to say. We have enough to get into the final third, but it almost feels like the guys are doubting themselves there. And then, as Murphy's Law has it, right, you have chance after chance after chance, and then the team will score like a deflection goal. That's just, I think, as football fans, we've experienced it with all of our teams, where you'll dominate the game, and then the team goes on one attack, and then they somehow score because it deflected off the striker's grandmother's knee, and she's sitting somewhere, and it somehow went in, and it's like you genuinely don't know. I think this break came at a good time for us. I think it was a good period for us to get out of England. I think being in Dubai was good. I think the families went with, so it was maybe a chance to just get out of that environment which has plagued us for this last few weeks. And let's see what we still. I think I had mentioned about City at the start. We're still in there. It's not like we completely lost our way and we off the ball. We're 5 points off Liverpool, which can be made up very quickly. We must still see Liverpool without Salah now, without Endo as well. It's just about being consistent now in this next period where it gets a bit crazy. We're out of FA Cup, we're out of League Cup. If we lose this run in now, I think we go into the Champions League in Feb. If we get out of that, then what is the season then, Then I might as well just support Spurs rather,
Riyaz will welcome you with open arms.
I really
But
will.
then if I invite you to watch a game, don't fade, no.
Look here, I'm there, bro. Football is football.
Look, if I have a Spurs player by my side, then I will come around.
You feel confident.
No, I just feel like even if we're gonna lose, we can lose together.
Now I must go look. Now I must go scavenger hunt for another Spurs fan here in Cape Town.
It's not gonna work. There aren't many.
It feels like there's more now suddenly. It feels like I'm just seeing more of them popping up with their jerseys with the Pavlyuchenko on the back. I'm like, brother.
Oh, that's I love that t-shirt.
What a great player, but don't tell me you suddenly support Spurs again.
Well, if he has a Pavlyuchenko shirt, then he's probably a veteran then, surely.
Yeah, nah, fair enough. Fair game. I don't know if you guys think it's anything different to what I'd alluded to, but that's what I'm feeling now. It's obviously upsetting because when you think back to last season, it was like this time of the year we were still right on top. We were still cruising. We were grinding results out. And I think that Brighton game that we won at home, it was like, okay, we've now ticked off all of these bogey teams that had plagued us in the last few seasons. And then we go lose to the teams that we've been beating normally. And it's like, go and catch a break here.
Yeah, no. Who was it? Who did you guys lose to? It was West Ham and Fulham, right?
It was West Ham, it was Fulham, and then it was Liverpool FA Cup. And it was just, I think it was disastrous, all of the games.
I mean, I think that final third for Arsenal, you guys, like Saka, Martinelli, like forgot how to find the goal. Like a month or so ago, you put a blindfold on them, they scored in those goals easily. It's so crazy. Like there were so many opportunities in those games where you guys lost. Saka with an open header, Martinelli, Kai Havertz. I mean,
God, missing as well. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like like Arteta needs to sort out that final third, because I feel like once he does that, then everything falls into place again. They are suffering from shot in confidence, if you can put it like that. And the moment that the goals start coming in again, then I think that's business as usual for Arsenal.
I just think that the reason we concede these silly goals is because the defense is under so much pressure. So I think watching them miss so many chances, obviously it's like, okay, so now it's one of those games again, right? I think City, Liverpool, they blow teams out in the first few minutes and it's done. Newcastle did it to to an extent at the start of the season last season, where you come to their home ground, suddenly you down 2-0, 3-0. And I think back to that Newcastle Spurs game last season, Riyaz. I'm sure you still remember that. You're still writing in your journal about that one. It was quick. I think it was like 4-0 after 24 minutes. And it's like, if you have a bit of clinicalness up front, if that's even the word, finish the team off within 25 minutes and it's chill. And then suddenly you concede a silly goal and it's 4-1 or it's 3-1 and it's not 1-0 to them and you now need to score 2 goals when you couldn't score after 10 chances. I'm hoping that we can somehow turn the tide now. I think we have a few decent fixtures coming up. We have Liverpool again, which I'm actually getting so tired. But so hopefully we can do something there at home. Hopefully we have a better performance up front, and then just roll it on, man. If we peak now, then I'm happy. Last season we peaked way too early.
Yeah, man. Like I just think that there's a lot of mental things
Yeah,
happening within that
yeah,
team, and like you
yeah,
said, the defenders, like the way you guys are conceding goals, and they afraid of it, and they're probably afraid because you guys aren't scoring goals. So in their
yeah,
minds, it's just like, okay, we concede now, then we probably losing this game because
yeah,
our strikers they can't shoot like to save their lives. So
yeah,
it's a very big mental thing at the moment, and we've seen Arteta speak about the mental aspect of the game like many times before. So I feel like he's qualified and equipped enough to try and handle this. But yeah, let's see. Like you said, the break might have done them well. The
mm,
trip to Dubai, taking their families with, just to like
yeah,
recharge their batteries a bit,
yeah,
see how they come back and take it from there.
I think Declan
But
also said something after one of the games about mentality,
mm,
about the mentality of the group in general for how they played. I think they lost that game. I can't remember. Maybe it was a Fulham game.
yeah,
I'm not sure. But he came out and afterwards he gave the interview and he said, like, it's he was disappointed in the team's mentality today, whatever the case may be. And it's weird to say because, like I've said a couple of months ago, Saka and Martinelli were scoring for fun. I mean, every
yeah,
time there's even Odegaard. I mean, he was last season. He was almost as good as Kevin de Bruyne, and that's like the
yeah,
biggest compliment you can give a midfielder. Like
yeah,
he
yeah,
was the second best midfielder in the league, and this season it just seems to not all be coming together, I guess. And I think that if you fall a little bit further behind, it's going to be you might have to just give up on the season because I think City's going to come and be as consistent. That consistency that you're looking for,
yeah,
City's going to come with it. Like City's going to be consistent for the rest of the season. They're going to win every game, and they're going to go for that title as hard as they can.
yeah,
So from now to the end of the season, I think any points dropped is going to be problems.
yeah,
But it's difficult to see. Like you said, like it's you came with a two-prong approach there, and for me, I would watch Arsenal, and I'm still like, what's the problem here? Like you guys are playing such
mm,
good football. It flows nicely. There's creativity. There's everything. It just doesn't work out, and it's so weird. It
yeah,
must be, I guess, a mentality
yeah,
thing. But hopefully they can. I much prefer Arsenal to win the league than either Liverpool or City. So hopefully they can bring it
same.
out of the bag somehow.
yeah. No, for sure.
I'm still holding out for that, for Arsenal just to come with the madness for the next like 4 months. Just win the
Just
league, make my
at the right
prediction
time.
come through. Yeah, yeah.
Yo,
Just make it happen. Not City, not Liverpool. Just Arsenal.
mm,
Do what you need to do. Um, Before we wrap up, I'm just gonna eject myself from the Premier League quick. Jose Mourinho got the sack from Roma. Where do we think he is going to end up next? Riyaz, like, looks excited there
I
because
don't
of
even
what he did
care.
at
He can
Spurs.
end up in the championship for all I care. He spoiled my club. He can go anywhere he wants. I don't care about him.
Bro, that all or nothing was proper quality.
prime time.
Haven't seen
That
it.
was that was amazing.
Haven't seen it,
Watch
to be
it and
honest.
then just reminisce about Eric Dyer, man, when he speaks
No,
Portuguese.
dude.
Yo,
Mourinho
like,
was the first one to bring Eric Dyer back into the team, and I'm just like, what are you doing here, mate?
I
Yes,
still
so
remember that line he told his assistant when he saw Eric Dyer in training for the first time. And he like turns and he looks at his assistant and he's like, "Oh my god, he's so good." And I was like, "Nah, it's downhill
His
from here,
right
bro."
foot, his left foot. Yeah.
Shocking, to be
Um,
honest.
yeah, I don't know. Mourinho divides a lot of opinion. I think his coaching style worked back in the day, and I'm not saying that it's not working now because I think with what he's done with Roma used to be very good. They used to compete quite a bit, and they fell off really badly. I think he's made them a bit more, I wouldn't say relevant, but they were in the conversation a bit more amongst the likes of like Napoli, who's come up well recently. Atalanta has done really well over the last few years. And now he leaves them after he probably spent like, I don't know, it was a crazy figure that I saw on X, but it was talking about how he's taken the team from relatively nowhere to being somewhere with little to no resources and yeah, probably being overlooked. But I think it's his third sack, or is his third sacking in his last 5 clubs, or it could be his fifth paycheck that he's cashing out now before his thing actually ends. So I don't know, man. I'm not sure if that sort of style of management works anymore. Um,
Yeah.
it's good enough to a certain point, but I think I don't know. I wouldn't say that he's lost his winning touch because I still think he's a very good tactician.
He's a good
But I
tactician.
think he
Yeah.
might need to tweak his style a bit.
Yeah.
But
So
that when he loses
I
the whole
I
tactical
don't
point.
necessarily agree with that
Mm,
because I think he was appointed at Roma, like you said,
mm,
little to no resources.
yeah,
He went on to win the Conference League, the Europa Conference League, which
yeah.
okay, it's not prestigious, but I mean, if your team's in it, you're gonna want to win
It's
it. He
still
ended up,
it's still
he, wi-
European football. Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
he went on to win that. And then the second season, last season, he took his team to the Europa League final. So, I mean, that's two massive achievements in the space of 2 years. And
Yeah,
he was probably within his rights to ask the board, okay, so I took the team this far. Like,
yeah,
give me something in return so I can try to improve the team to take them even further.
yeah,
And I think that's around about like August, September, October last year.
yeah,
That's when they started like clashing, and there's been like a lot of bad blood. And like
yeah,
I've said in our group chat also, I'm surprised that he lasted this long in the season because I thought it was going to happen like sooner. I just think that bad blood like it ran over into the team, and that's what's affected results. And I think they're chilling ninth in the Serie A now. So
yeah,
but yeah, I think his managerial technique worked in the Serie A. I
yeah,
think his technique is like he changes it up for different leagues, and what he did in the Premier League later on with United, with Spurs and stuff like that, I don't think he thought it through, like how to go about doing that. I think he just tried to do more of the same in a different
yeah.
At least he
environment,
won
like
with
in
you guys.
America. Yeah, yeah.
Didn't
At
I
least he
mean? Didn't
won.
they stack him before he was supposed to go to a
He was
final? When is it?
before the FA
Yeah,
Cup final.
I think it was a
Yeah.
Which
So
League
is
Cup,
maybe he
but
was wanting
crazy.
something with.
no. They gave him
Yeah.
they gave him out there. They made him. It was luck there. They made him have good luck there so that he can leave without
You would have won it, bruh. It's
tarnishing. He wouldn't have
Mourinho.
won
You
it.
would have
He
won
I
was
that
had no
final.
faith. I had no
single
faith in
winner,
him.
except for
The
Roma.
serial winner. And what else?
Yeah.
Well, he actually won it, Roma. He just didn't win by us. We're like the only club he hasn't won it. What
Yeah.
the hell?
Okay. Yeah.
But
So then,
okay,
okay,
so
it's
bottom
easy
line
to see
is
who's the problem there, isn't it?
Must be, must be.
what bottom
Ange
line is
came in and changed everything in the space of 1 week.
Mm,
where does Mourinho
bottom
go?
line, yeah.
I think
Where
he
does
goes
it go?
Saudi. He finally cashes in one last time, and he cashes in the best environment possible for finance for a huge payday.
Mm,
He's
I
gonna
think
try
I
to
don't
get
Barcelona.
know. I
Benzema
think
online
Saudis for him,
on side. Sorry.
espe- especially. I don't think Saudis for him, especially with everybody wanting to leave Saudi now. I think
Yeah.
he'd want to go manage Jordan Henderson, and now Henderson's leaving, so he's not going to go there. Um,
Now you'll go to
yo,
Al Ittihad or to go get Benzema, right? Because currently Benzema doesn't want to leave Saudi. It's just that he clashed
No, no.
with the coaches, and
Yeah. And I mean,
even though
Nuno's
like
into an
Nuno
end.
left, he's
Yeah.
the other coaching staff is still there, and apparently he doesn't see much eye to eye with him.
Mm,
Um,
I mean,
so
if he goes,
maybe
it's
you bring
fine.
in somebody that likes him, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I'll stay here.
Saudi's
But
a
yeah,
good
Jordan
shot.
Henderson, like he wants to leave that league
Oh
like
no, he's got to
yesterday.
terminated his
He's like
contract.
gone already. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't it terminate isn't he like he has a deal in
Oh, did
principle
they
with like
terminate it?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw the whole Ajax medical thing from
Which just
Fabrizio.
shows how poor Ajax have fallen, eh? If they're fighting for scraps and scraps being Jordan Henderson, like yo.
Mm.
Um yeah, okay, Saudi's a good shout for him. I don't think he goes
Maybe he
back to
can go
Spain.
to Ajax. Maybe he can go to Ajax.
Yeah, I suppose, but I mean he's so far from that
No,
Ajax
no
system.
chance. No
Yeah, I
chance.
think
Ajax will never
maybe
implement that football. Not in a
yeah.
million years.
He's like an anti-Ajax football guy, isn't
Oh
That's
he?
my
true.
word!
That's
You
true.
telling
In
me
terms of the system.
he's gonna go to Amsterdam and he's gonna tell them, nah, I don't want to play this carpet football. I want to play seven defenders instead. No
8-8,
Yeah.
chance.
I'm sure.
Nah, okay. I think that's definitely one to keep the eye out for. I would always like to. I wanted to see him in a international space, but I
Yeah.
think for
Ooh.
his sort of style, he needs that everyday sort of contact, which is the same reason why I don't see Pep going there anytime soon, because he also needs to be in there. He has to have full control over everything. Where I think the national team, it's obviously a mixture of players from different clubs coming from different owners who have different interests in that national team. So it would be
Now
interesting to see, though, especially with so many tournaments coming up now soon.
yeah, when they
It will be
get rid of Southgate, then he can just take over there.
England will never take him. With the
Yeah,
players
do
that they
that,
have
and he can
now.
get Eric Dyer back in the team.
With
Easy,
the
easy
players
peasy.
that England have now, it's basically going from bad to worse, taking out Southgate and taking Mourinho there.
yeah, Southgate's only going to be able to take himself off.
But yeah, I think that is all. Unless you want to speak about Percy Tau playing last night like he was in the Rugby World Cup, not in the AFCON.
Let's leave him. Let's put positive energy there because we're all patriotic, you know.
Oh, I like
And
that.
if it fails again, then we'll send Kirsty Ardense over to go play there.
And
Maybe even
I
Damien
just want to say
Willemse.
one thing. I just want to say one thing. Why did he take the penalty away from Thibaut Mokoena? Like the guy was ready. He was like
It's that
picturing where he's gonna put the ball already, and then last
nah,
moment, he's like, "Nah, it's mine. Let me do it."
I don't know if it's that or if it's just that new technique that everybody's doing. So you know that they hold the ball like Trent holds it, and then once everybody's cleared, then he gives it to the actual penalty. Like I mean, Percy, I think when you're looking at, I think he's the one that's proven himself the most out of that whole team. He's probably our best player.
Yeah,
Maybe not in the best run of form. Not that I watch the Egyptian league, but yeah, I think it would probably be. I think it's somebody that had a lot of confidence, and then it's just. I mean, penalty is 50-50.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can either score it, and yeah, just I think to have missed it in that fashion hurts more. Like at least make the keeper save it.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
miss, bro. Yeah,
Who else is left? Tunisia, and who else is in our group?
Namibia.
Oh,
Namibia
okay.
beat Tunisia, so it kind of makes it a bit interesting now because I think Tunisia have to respond. Um, I, knowing South Africa now, we must likely beat Tunisia and we also beat Namibia, and then us and Mali go through. Like that's just how it'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's what
it
that's
was
what we
interesting to
all are
see that.
hoping for.
Yeah, but it was also to see lastly, just to wrap up the gulf in quality between Mali's team and SA's team. So while you can hold your own for a certain part, when 8 out of the 11 players from Mali play in Europe and they compete with good teams,
Yeah.
that sort of thing comes through easily.
Yeah.
You guys,
I mean,
you have
the way Aidara was just controlling that midfield last night,
yeah,
like chalk and cheese, bro.
you have Yves Basuma coming off probably the best half season he's had
Ever.
And he comes in that team, yeah, and then it's just a whole lot of quality, and we're still gonna play against guys where, yeah, I think Tunisia also have quite a few players that play in like Belgium, France,
Yeah.
and that's a whole different podcast. We want to talk about why South African players don't want to leave SA and they're so comfortable here and they don't want to try their luck overseas. But yeah, I think that can definitely be
But
something
then
we can chat about.
the ones that are playing overseas, Lau Foster, for example, like what did he choose? He choose to stay with Burnley? He
Yeah, but
rejected his call up or something?
yeah, it's not something that other players haven't done. I think Bartlett did it. I think Benny did it. Stephen Pienaar did it as well. But in a time where we're needing all of our best players, it
Yeah.
probably did hurt a bit. But I think in today's day and age, rather than having a Thierry Henry like interview 20 years down the line where we talk to Lyle and he says, you know what, every day I was fighting demons, but I still had to go play for my national team. I think uh, rather fair. I think our future lies in him playing well. So
Yeah.
keeping him in a good mental space for the next maybe AFCON, for the next, so the next time SA hosts the World Cup and we actually qualify, I think that will serve us better. So yeah, but
Now
definitely,
we'll be in America, bro. We'll be there. We'll
yeah,
be there.
no,
2026.
for
But
sure.
Riyaz, you want to say something before?
Oh, I was just gonna say we can host our podcast in America for the 2026 World Cup. Watching South
Sure.
Africa there.
Let's let's make
I
that
don't mind
happen.
it.
I
Fusion
will
board,
do
clip it.
that. Yeah. But yeah, on that a rather optimistic note,
Mm,
we will end this episode. This has been episode 51. If you did miss that, the amazing giveaway that we did at the end of last year, in our 50th episode, we had a very happy winner when I gave him his shirt. The dude was smiling all the time. So yeah, keep an eye out for more giveaways in the next half a season. We'll probably be doing a couple. So yeah, keep supporting us. Keep liking the videos, keep interacting with us on social media. We are at Sportycast on Threads, on X, on Instagram, on TikTok. Come over, say hi, interact with us. Let us know what you want us to speak about as well. Because if you're listening to these things, we want to make it worth your while. So yeah, let us know which topics you want us to cover, and yeah, we'll make it happen for you. Jason, where can the people find you?
yeah, so just at Jason underscore Ronnie, Instagram, X, TikTok. Don't really post on TikTok. We do post a lot on like Sportycast TikTok page as AFC's all of the stuff. But yeah, it's been good to not be tweeting about football, but once it starts picking up, I'll be more active for sure.
Yes, where can the people speak to you?
I am at Parker underscore Riyaz on X, I guess now it's called, and at Riyaz Parker 7 on Instagram.
Nice. I am at AF Parker 642 on everything. Yeah, I don't want to be different. But yeah, that is all for episode 51. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.